Another beautiful day in Schuylkill County. We appreciate everyone being here this morning for this tremendous announcement. I'm Bob Carl, President and CEO of the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce, and been asked by the county commissioners and Frank Zukas with SEDCO to MC this wonderful day. As we all know, Schuylkill County plans to construct and operate a new facility to provide expanded training opportunities for our volunteer fire companies, emergency management services, and law enforcement, as well as training for business and industry in and out of Schuylkill County. The building will also serve as the County Emergency Operations Center with the capability of providing emergency backup to our 911 response team. There's a great need to train more emergency management personnel in Schuylkill County. True about every county, by the way. Constructing a new centralized location for expanded training to fire companies, emergency management services, and law enforcement will greatly benefit the needs and the safety of the Schuylkill County residents as well as surrounding communities. There are currently 99 volunteer fire companies in Schuylkill County. On average, 50 courses are held at the training grounds yearly, with another 60 sessions for individual organizations to practice skills with their personnel. Firefighters complete approximately 180 hours of basic firefighting and hazardous materials training to be prepared to respond to emergencies. Emergency management services function as a member of the community and the trainings that are required. This project will certainly provide expanded training opportunities for emergency management services specifically related to nature-driven issues such as flooding and disaster recovery. Rural counties face unique challenges today, such as smaller staffs, lack of equipment, lack of reverse 911 capabilities, and limited resources compared to some of their urban counterparts. These restraints negatively affect their emergency preparedness levels as compared to the rest of the state. Additionally, police recruitment and retention and training, among the most difficult tasks police agencies face in the best of times, have become even more difficult in recent years. Several long-standing issues in recruitment, retention, and training have persisted across the United States jurisdictions, while new ones have emerged. Schuylkill County has 2,475 volunteer firefighters, and we're blessed to have each and every one of them. Entry-level volunteer firefighters complete courses in introduction to fire service, fire ground support, exterior firefighting, interior firefighting, hazardous materials, and structural burn sessions, such as in the building behind me. Additional training continues with incident command, vehicle rescue, as well as other specialty training. Volunteer firefighters also complete annual refreshers for hazardous materials, CPR, and first aid. Schuylkill County has also approximately 100 law enforcement officers throughout part-time and full-time departments. Officers complete the basic training typically outside of the county. However, this project will provide the opportunity for additional continuing education in topics such as active shooter, crime scene analysis, and cybersecurity locally. Additionally, this project will provide the opportunity for additional training for local emergency management coordinators from our 67 municipalities in the county, municipal public works staff, and municipal authorities. Both the State Correctional Institute of Frackville and Monterey currently utilize the facility for their special response teams. Proudly on March 23, 2024, U.S. Senator Bob Casey announced that several funding provisions he strongly advocated for advanced through the U.S. Senate as part of a second wave of government funding bills for fiscal year 2024, including such areas as child care funding, support for law enforcement and border patrol, and initiatives to uplift workers and small businesses, including $30 million for 60 Pennsylvania community projects. The bill went to President Biden's desk to become law. Today, U.S. Senator Bob Casey joins Schuylkill County in celebrating the investment of $2 million in a new emergency services facility for Schuylkill County to construct and operate this new facility, which will provide expanded training for volunteer fire companies, emergency management services, and law enforcement officials. It is now my sincere honor and privilege to welcome back to Schuylkill County and introduce again, proudly, U.S. Senator Bob Casey, with our sincerest gratitude and recognition for this funding and the importance of this project for Schuylkill County emergency personnel and the health and safety of all our citizens. Senator.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for introducing me and for going through what this project means, but also thank you for your leadership all these years and for giving us a summary of what this future can be as we work together. And I'm grateful that Bob gave me the chance at the chamber last summer to talk about public policy. Whenever you give a legislator open field running to talk about public policy, it can get long. So I appreciated, Bob, you gave me even more time than they had allocated at that time. But grateful to be with you again. I'm also grateful to be joined by your commissioners, Chairman Pedora, Commissioner Hess, and Commissioner Hetherington, three commissioners who have to work together every day to advance the interests of Schuylkill County in a difficult governing environment in any county. I work in a difficult governing environment in Washington, so I know something about it. But I also want to commend and salute the officials behind me. They're heroic officials who represent other heroes in this community. Let's hear it for them. For those who are leading volunteer firefighter companies, those who are leading EMS teams, those who are involved in saving people's lives and doing law enforcement, all of that work is critical to the safety and the security of the people of Schuylkill County. Now, I think everyone here would agree with me that acts of courage, acts that demonstrate someone is willing to put their life at risk, selfless service, and all of those attributes that we hold dear, performed every day by the people behind me, these are not attributes that are limited to the battlefield. The people of Schuylkill County, on that day in March of 2022, March the 28th, saw all of these attributes on display over and over again when that snow squall came across this region and made it so hazardous that 6 people died, 29 were injured, and more than 50 cars were destroyed. I was on Route 81 that day. My biggest problem was waiting in traffic. I didn't have to save anybody's life. I didn't have to put my life at risk. I didn't have to stay out in the cold and the dark to help people. But those behind me did that work. And I know they represent scores of others, citizens of this county, who did that work. So we commend and salute their work. And when I visited the Goodwill Fire Company, just about 2 weeks after that horrific day, I had a sense of not just the grief and the loss, but also the determination to take steps to make sure that this facility and other investments would be made possible. The folks that gathered that day at Goodwill Fire Company made clear to me that they needed support. They needed that support to keep the county's fire departments, all of which are volunteer. They needed them to be fully staffed. In a sense, when I met with them, we weren't just having a meeting. They were petitioning their government, good old American, coming to your government for support, in this case, the federal government. And it was my obligation to listen, my obligation to better understand what they are up against, and to charge my staff to do the same, and then to see if we could deliver. And we delivered this funding. And I'm so grateful that it's come to pass that in the appropriations bill we got this $2 million. I worked with the county to help them apply for and earn these community project funding dollars, and I place emphasis on that word, earn. This is not easy. It's a process that is subjected to the kind of review and scrutiny that was not the case 30, 40 years ago when it came to federal funding like this. And so these dollars were hard earned, not just with the sacrifice and the courage of those who have done this work, but it was earned in that legislative process as well. So our staff, and I want to commend my staff for the hard work that they did, week after week, month after month, to make this possible. Not just making sure that the application process was going well, but that we could convince the appropriators, who were the final decision makers, as to whether or not we had funding. Our staff working with Congressman Muser's staff and others to make this funding possible. So this is a good day, but this is how it should work. When you have a demonstrated need, that the community comes to their legislators and says, we need help, we need funding. We should make every effort possible to deliver that funding. And in this case, we did. God bless the work of those who do this courageous, selfless service every day. And God bless the investment we're making in this training facility. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Senator Casey. It's now my sincere pleasure to introduce our Schuylkill County Board of Commissioners, who have made a huge commitment to the importance of this project, committing monies both from ARPA and the Schuylkill County General Funds. With us today is Board Chair Commissioner Larry Perdora, Commissioner Baron Boots Hetherington, and Commissioner Gary Hess. Gentlemen, if you'd all come up, please.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you to the Senator for helping get this funding for this project. I want to thank our Firemen's Association and our Chiefs Association for all their hard work. This is a great thing for Schuylkill County. It's going to help our volunteer firemen. It's going to help our emergency management and all of our first responders. Hopefully this new building spurs volunteerism and we can get more people involved because we need it. This is something we need for public safety. The job that our firemen and all of our first responders do is amazing. They volunteer their time. They take time away from their families, birthdays, everything. They're there to answer the call. So this building hopefully will serve them greatly into the future and help with everything with our first responders. And I just want to thank everybody involved. Once again, our senator, the firemen, our county officials that worked on it, and my fellow commissioners. This is a great day for Schuylkill County.
Thanks, Larry. Very briefly, I want to say thank you to Senator Casey. Thanks for believing in the 143,000 plus residents of the county for public safety, their public safety, and more importantly, the public safety of our first responders. I got to be commissioner in 2020, and one of the first things I found out was the fact that we're losing firefighters every year. As they mature and they pass on or they retire, we're not getting young people involved. So this facility will help provide new technology, new training for our current firefighters, and will also attract new folks to the service and for the residents. So once again, Senator, thank you for believing in Schuylkill County.
First of all, Senator Casey, welcome again, and it's very nice to have you also back in Schuylkill County. Of many visits that you have shared with us here today, and also to the gentleman behind me. We wouldn't be here today in this facility if it wasn't for their long life hard work in what this facility is right now and will be for the future. We appreciate also, Senator, that you share and our same vision and our priority, and that is in public safety. We appreciate that very much. This project, the Emergency Services Facility, will ensure the people that run towards in the face of emergency and disaster to save lives and properties will receive the top-notch training right here at home, because their safety is always at the forefront. When the incident is over, we want them guys to go home to their families. This facility will strengthen the future of volunteer emergency services in Schuylkill County. Senator Casey, we can't thank you enough and really appreciate the effort and all your staff putting into this, securing the needed funds that will aid in making this facility a reality. Schuylkill County is forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. It's now my great pleasure to introduce, for a few words, John Blickley, Director, Schuylkill County Office of Emergency Management. John.
Good morning. Additional training space on these grounds has been discussed many times over the years. It took the leadership and collaboration of many stakeholders to finally move this project from dream to an actual reality. Many of you are with us today, and your efforts are greatly appreciated. This emergency operations and training facility will be an important investment in the future of emergency management and emergency responder training for Schuylkill and the surrounding areas. As we work to address the changing nature of emergency services, including issues of concern such as the lack of volunteers, this facility will be instrumental in providing opportunities for sharing resources and ideas to meet these challenges head on, to provide the best training for our volunteers and support all of our emergency services to protect and serve our communities. Thank you, Senator Casey, and all of our elected officials for supporting these efforts on behalf of Schuylkill County and our emergency response community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. Now it's my pleasure to introduce someone that in Schuylkill County everyone knows. He's the fire chief of Girardville, going on 5 decades. He's the president of the Schuylkill County Fire Chiefs Association and a proud member of the SF2DO Advisory Board. He's known around this region by everyone, every fire company. It's my pleasure to introduce Frank Zangari. Frank.
Thank you, Bob. Senator Casey, I'm going to take you back in time. I worked with your father when he was governor, making our roads safe here in Schuylkill County. I was on a task force. And he worked to make our job easier when he constructed 901. And here you are, years later. I guess the apple didn't fall far from the tree, still helping us here in Schuylkill County. I am honored to be here today to thank you for what your family has done for Schuylkill County and what you personally have done for our firefighters. This new building for us is one voice: police, fire, EMS, corrections, the public. We have training facilities to my right that only hold 30 students. This opportunity for us to have a bigger building, up to 300 people in one building, to train at one time, to be one voice, to protect our community and our surrounding areas, is outstanding. All those involved, our county commissioner's commitment to push this forward, the senator's office, the congressman's office, we want to thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Frank, for those 5 decades of hard work and service. And now it's my sincere pleasure to introduce David Sadison. David is with the chief of the Pine Grove Firefighters Relief, president of the Schuylkill County Firefighters Association, and also a proud member of the SF2DO Advisory Board. David.
Thank you, Senator Casey, for coming back to Schuylkill County on a better day than what you were a couple of months ago. So thank you for that. This has been a long process. I had to go back and look at the timeline. It was almost 2.5 years ago when Frank and I approached our county commissioners to try to do something with the ARPA funds and not give it out to each individual fire company, but try to hold the money back to try to make a plan that would allow us for this facility. It's been a long 2 years. The incident on 81 sparked it with Senator Casey when he was in a backlog, was able to come to Goodwill and be able to see how the operations work. It was an operation that was done with all Schuylkill County volunteer fire companies and emergency management people. We didn't have to go outside the county. It was all done with our own people. So he got to see that firsthand. We had dialogue with his office then to try to come up with a plan to do a building like this on this magnitude. We didn't make the deadline the first time around, but Amy got us in contact, and we were able to submit the application afterwards. And with the help with his office, we were able to submit the application and be able to get this monumental task done. We appreciate everything that his office has done. We appreciate everything you've done, Bob Casey, for Schuylkill County, and we appreciate everything that every one of our commissioners and our EMA staff did to make this possible. We thank you. It's the week of our annual convention here in the city of Pottsville. So tomorrow night we will discuss this plan, first time opening minded, and be able to express our concerns and our gratitude for everything that's been done. So thank you, Senator Casey.
Thank you, David, very much, and thank you each and every one of you for your unselfish service and dedication to the fire chiefs, the Firefighters Association, and the SF2DO Advisory Board. Before we close today, I want to mention that I was asked by the commissioners and Frank Zukas to be the MC today, but I would be very remiss if I did not speak for a moment about Frank Zukas and his leadership. The land that this building is going to be built on was donated years ago by the Schuylkill Economic Development Corporation, SEDCO, under Frank Zukas' leadership. Frank and SEDCO have been extremely instrumental in the overarching support and including the fundraising to make this day possible. Many, many hands, many, many outreaches, many, many brochures to make sure that everyone in our greater Schuylkill County community understood the importance of what is happening here today. So with sincere thanks to Frank, Letitia, Mark Minnick, and the board of directors of SEDCO, I say thank you. They always wish to be in the background, but truly their work is always front edge in everything that happens in Schuylkill County. Thank you, Frank, and thank you, SEDCO. So in closing, U.S. Senator Casey, we thank you again for your recognition and this prioritization of this critical emergency management project and for this fiscal appropriation making this new emergency management training facility a reality in conjunction with the Schuylkill County Commissioners, Emergency Management Services, and the ongoing passion of the SF2DO Advisory Board. We thank all of you today who joined Senator Casey here in this wonderful announcement. Senator Casey, you alluded to in the beginning, we more formally established our ongoing relationship with you a number of years ago. You've been very generous. You've been open. We love working with Amy Coetzee and your staff, and it's just a pleasure to have you understanding the needs and the wants of Schuylkill County, and we know you will continue to do everything you can in prioritizing us, but with sincere gratitude and thanks for being here not only today, but for everything and your leadership in Washington. We have the sincerest gratitude. Thank you, Senator Casey.